Hi everybody, Vince August here. It is Tuesday, May 26th. And, one of the things that keeps coming up with people in my line of work is, when is stand-up comedy coming back? I mean, there's just no prospects with people like Governor Murphy, Governor Cuomo, Governor Newsom, Whitmer, and all these other governors saying, no, we're nowhere near going back indoors. Stay in your house, but we're not ready to do indoor activity. What is the prospect of coming back and doing stand-up comedy? And it doesn't look promising, but after seeing President Trump say that churches are essential, I think I have my calling, and I'm thinking of going into the priesthood. And I want to do church a little bit different, though. In fact, I was thinking of setting up my own religion where we would have a priest come out first and do 10 to 15 minutes of sermon. We'll call it the first reading. So a priest comes out, does 10 to 15 minutes up front of a first reading. Then you have another priest goes up and does 10 to 15 minutes. We'll call it the second reading, whatever. And then, I would go up and then do 45 minutes to an hour of the gospel and homily. And, we would go in that order and try something like that, and what we would look to do in my church is have a 2 blood of Christ minimum. Basically, 2 cups of wine or something that simulates, the blood of Christ. And don't think you're going to order water and you're going to get over on us, because we treat water turns to wine in my church. So we were thinking of doing something like that. And even, we're taking a liberal approach to this. Even the body of Christ, the wafer, I think, has been kind of outdone. We would have a little, body of Christ menu, maybe, bruschetta instead of a wafer, maybe a little bar pie, chicken wing, something. Look, the point is, the Last Supper was a supper. I don't think you should just keep it to a wafer. We would have bread on the table, a little dipping, treat it like a supper, so to speak, with the readings going on at the same time. We'd want to keep it very dark lit, it's something like that. Even the names of the saints, we would go with more modern saints, like Saint Richard of Prior, Acts, something like that. Our Lady of Laughter. A lot of people never heard of that saint, but she healed through laughter. So we would do things like that. Maybe on a Monday night, have an open priest night, where priests come in and for 5 to 10 minutes try out their sermons, just to kind of work, what they would do later on. It helps you get better, so to speak, at not performing, but doing this. And, the idea is, again, healing through laughter, so to speak, because that's what church does. It heals, it brings us together. So what we would do is, have a mailing list, not a parishioner list, and we would email out, that masses are going to be probably 9 and 11 every night. We want these at night. This isn't really a kid. Look, the Bible gets a little rough at times. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of sex talk in the Bible. There's some talk of violence and drugs. And we're going to talk about a lot of sins. We're going to talk about a lot of sins in my church. Mainly it's going to be about sins. There's going to be a lot of talk of sins and things that people do that is a sin. And, kind of heal. It'll be like a big confessional. Think of it as a confessional. So the priest goes up and kind of confesses their sins and things that they've done wrong and relates to the people in front of them and their sin. And the priest may do some improvisational work and ask the people in the front, where are you from? And just, kind of banter back and forth to make it very communal. So that's what we're looking to do in this church. Hopefully you'll become a parishioner in my church. I think I have the first call right now. Here's the first member.